Right, just before we get started, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to Call of the Cubes and that you are following my Instagram, which I am posting cool pixel art and patterns on some of my cubes. So, today I will be doing a tutorial on how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. So, before we get started, I just want to make sure that you know some basic notation. So, let's just start off. You've got U for the top layer, R for the right layer, L for the left layer, D for the bottom layer, F for the front layer, and B for the back layer. And those are all the letters. And then you've also got apostrophes and twos. So if there is a 2, you just turn it twice. Say U2, U2. Just do it twice. U2. And if there's an apostrophe, you turn it counterclockwise. If there is no apostrophe, just turn it clockwise. So you've got U going clockwise and U prime anti-clockwise. So, let's scramble it up. Right, so the first step in solving the Rubik's Cube is making the white daisy, in which you just put all of the white edges onto the yellow side, with white facing up. So I can bring this red and white piece like that, and now I have the white facing up and it's on the yellow side. I can do the same with this orange and white piece. I can do something like that, and that puts the white facing up. Now this is fairly intuitive. Do the same with the blue. Now that's there. And lastly, I can just move this and put that in. So this step is very intuitive. You should be able to do it with just a bit of messing around. So next you need to match up the colour on the side with the correct centre. So this is orange, so I need to find the... Oh, there it is. It's now matching. So now I do 2 turns to bring it down to the white side. And I can do the same with the red. That's all matching. 2 turns. And it's on the white side. And same with blue. And green. I can do 2 turns. And now we have a white cross with all of the edges in the correct spot. So, this next part, we are going to need to do put in the corners into the correct spots. So, we are going to be using a simple algorithm, which is just 4 moves long, and then you will keep on repeating it. So, first of all, you need to find a piece in the bottom layer. So, if you put the cross on the top, the bottom layer would be this layer. So I've got this white corner, bring it over to where it needs to go in. So it is the green and orange corner. So I bring it between the green and orange centres. And you do this simple algorithm. R prime, D prime, R, D. You just keep on repeating that until it goes into the correct slot with white facing upwards. So turn the right side anti-clockwise, the bottom side anti-clockwise, right side clockwise, bottom side clockwise. So if you just keep on repeating that, you'll see that now it is in the correct spot. So let's do that with the next piece, this blue and orange. So bring it over to the place it needs to go. It needs to go here. And just keep on doing that. Down, across. And it's done. So, let's just carry on. I've got this blue one there. Just carry on. And there we go, that's the last one. And now we just got this last one, which I just need to do this one more time. And there we go, we now have our first layer. Now one problem that you may have going into the first layer and putting in the corners is that you have no white corners in the bottom layer. I have none of them because they're both in the top. So if that is true, just pick one of them and do that algorithm once. And then fix it like a normal piece, because now it is in the bottom. Yep, do that algorithm. And now this last piece is now in the bottom. And now we have our first layer. Now one more problem that you might have is that you have the correct piece in the correct spot, but it's just twisted. So what do? Well, you just have to do the algorithm as many times as it takes to untwist it. And there you go, you now have your first layer. Right, now we need to do the second layer along here. So, find an edge that's in the top, like this one, but it can't have any yellow on it. If it has yellow, pick a different one. So I'll pick this orange and blue. Now pick the colour that is on the front and match it up with its centre. So I've got blue and blue. Now this piece needs to go down here, yeah? Because that is where it would be in the correct spot. So what you need to do is move it away from that place. So it needs to go in the left place, so I move it over there. And then bring up the slot that it needs to go into. Bring it across. Bring this back to where it originally was, and then bring that back down. And then you can just rotate and put it in with that. But now we have to do it on the other side. So I've matched up the colours, but now it needs to go on the right side. So I just move it to the left, bring up the slot it needs to go into, move it back to where it was, bring that back down, rotate so you have the white on the front, move it away, move the slot it needs to go into up, move it across, move it back down. And so now it's in the correct spot. So if you just carry on doing that with all the pieces, right, we've got this piece here, move it away, slot up, back, slot down, rotate, away, slot up, back, slot down. Now do that with the last piece. And now we have our second layer complete. Now one problem that you may come into is that some pieces that you have, they're in the wrong place, but you have no more in the top, so what should you do? Just do the algorithm, just pick one of them and just do something with it. So I'll just say, well, why not? Let's just put this piece in here, move it away, bring this up, back, down, rotate. And there we go. And now we have a piece in the top. So now you can just go back to doing it how you were before. And I have this last piece here. And now you have your second layers complete. One last problem you may come into is the fact that you have an edge that is flipped. Just do the same thing as before, pick one edge on the top, bring it in, and now the edge is in the top, so just do it properly. There you go. Now you have your second layer still complete. And if you have any of those multiple times, just keep doing it. So if you had two edges that were flipped, just do the same thing for both. So pick one edge, put it in there, rotate. And now this edge is out, so just do that once more. And then do the same thing here. There you go. Right, so the next step is to get the cross on the top. So all the yellow facing up. Luckily, this already happened to me. But for you might have something like this, where not all of them are facing up. So all you need to do is this simple algorithm. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And if you just keep on repeating that, eventually you will get to having the cross on top. So if I do it one more time. There you go. Now you may have to do this step many times, but just keep on doing it and eventually you will get there. So you might have to do it a few times, might do something like that, and there you go, you got the cross. Just mess about with the algorithm a bit and you will eventually get the cross on top. Okay, the next step is to get these edges into the correct spot. So what you need to do is just turn the top layer and see how many you can get in the correct space. So I've managed to get 2 here. Can I do any better? That's none. And that's 2. So this doesn't really matter. So you might also have a case where you only have 1 swap, which is preferred. Or you might have no swaps that you need to do. So the algorithm that you are going to do to fix this goes like this. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, U. Now this swaps these 2 edges. So if I think about it, right, now I need to swap these 2 so I can get the green there. So I do that. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, U. Okay, now I can do one last swap there. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, U. And with this case, say I had this, I just do one swap here. And there you go, now I've got solved edges. Right, so the second to last step is getting the corners in the correct place. So, you need to look around the cube to see whether you can find one corner that is in the correct space. Here, I have one here. That is good. So, hold that in the top right and do this simple algorithm. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. And now you may have to do that a few times, but now you see I have all of my corners in the correct spot, so the green and orange is still in the correct place. Now you may have this situation where all of them are in the wrong spot. So all you need to do is do the algorithm once. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. And now you should have one of them in the correct spot. And you can just do that algorithm one more time and they should all be in the correct spot. Right, going into this last step to solve the cube, all you need to do is think back to the algorithm that we used earlier and just do that many times. So the algorithm which we used earlier goes like this. R prime, D prime, R, D. 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 Repeat that as many times as you need. And then you need to do that for the rest of the corners. So now this one's facing right, but don't do this mistake where you rotate to do the next one. No, what you need to do is bring that corner to the slot which you're using. So I'll bring this corner here, like that. And now repeat. R prime, D prime, R, D. Now carry on doing that with all the corners. Do this one next. And you might have to do one more turn on top. And then it is solved. If you're wondering why this may not have solved your cube, because maybe it hasn't worked, maybe some pieces are still in the wrong spot, maybe you just can't fix it. Here's the problem. If you have ever, with your cube, twisted a corner like that, it will be unsolvable. So I'm going to undo that. If you have ever taken it apart and put it back together randomly, it is probably unsolvable. Just take it apart again and put it back solved, because there is a very low likelihood that it will be solvable. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it has helped you solve the cube, and goodbye.